Hey everyone, Matt here on another edition of Ask Ron. Ron, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Every day I get up, I'm good.
All right, that's what I like to hear. All right, we have a few questions for today, and we'll start off with Rich from Florida. Rich says, Ron, do you have any recommended attorneys in the Central Florida area?
No, I don't. Can't think of any in the Central Florida. They don't have to be in the Central Florida area, though. Everything's done virtually now, Rich. They can be anywhere in Florida. If you're looking for a real estate closing attorney, um, you can contact, uh, send in the question of who we use here, and I'll have Tish send you back her information. She can close anywhere in Florida. Any Florida attorney can close anywhere in Florida.
All right.
Can't go in anybody's office anymore.
Everything's done virtually now.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. The next one we have is from Pauline in Texas. Pauline says, what if I can't find a tenant to lease to own? What options do I have and what should I do?
Pauline, you won't be looking for tenants to lease to own in Texas anyway, because Texas won't let you collect a big non-refundable option deposit. So in Texas, you buy either with owner financing or you take over the debt subject to, or you pay cash, and then you sell it with owner financing. Those are your options in Texas. And trust me, when I tell you, selling the property with terms is the easiest sale you're ever going to make in your life. You don't have to worry about finding somebody to buy the property. In this, especially in this crazy market we're in right now, which I'm sure you must be aware of. Selling on terms, you're going to wish you had 10 houses like the one you're trying to sell. And you know, what's the worst case scenario? You don't find a buyer. You can always rent a house, for crying out loud. Quit worrying about that. That is the least of your concerns.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. We have Omar in Florida as well. He has two questions. The first one, Omar says, if I download your standard purchase and sale agreement, can I use it to make an offer on a FISBO that will sell for what they owe? Or maybe if they choose to own or finance, use the same contract?
That's correct. Don't make any difference how you buy. If it's a house, that contract will apply.
Perfect. All right. And then Omar's second question, he says, do I fill out a contract before I send it via DocuSign and then upload it, or is there some other way?
Well, first of all, you don't even fill out a contract until you have an oral agreement. You don't have an oral agreement until you either visit the house or someone else has done it for you and they've agreed on the terms. Only then do you fill out a contract. If you go firing out contracts and you don't have an oral agreement, you just kill the deal every single time. That's not how you do business. That's how you kill business. Oral agreement comes first, then contract, and then follow up to make sure that the seller understands what the contract says. I just lost a deal yesterday because the seller wasn't clear enough on the front end. But when I started going over the terms, they changed their mind. They decided they wanted to sell all cash. That's a common thing, especially nowadays, as hot as the market is. But you don't need but a couple, 3 months to take terms is all you need. But the contract, some people think, well, I want to do it the lazy way. I'm just going to fire out contracts. Then I don't have to get off my lazy butt and go do anything. That's not going to work. You're not going to get deals done by just firing out contracts. Oral agreement first. Now, back to your question, though, I'll tell you what I do. I handwrite them. I fill in the blanks by hand, which means I've printed out some blank copies. And then I hit it with Genius Scan, which is an app. You'll love it if you don't have it. Genius Scan. And I just send it to them. And then they can either print it out and sign it and send it back, or they can, however they want to do it. But, you know, people know how to handle that nowadays. In fact, that's what I asked this couple to do yesterday. I just Genius scanned it to them. I didn't leave my desk. And in fact, I bought a car yesterday, and I sent a bill of sale to the seller of the car, and they sent it back signed. So that's how we do business today in this virtual world.
That's right.
One more thing. I fill it out by hand, just so you'll know. Number one, it's a lot easier than trying to do it online. Number two, is perceived across the land that the handwritten word will override the printed word if there's ever a dispute between the two. It is perceived that the handwritten word was the true intent, which is what all contracts come down to, is true intent.
That's definitely a good point. All right. That answers Omar's questions. The next one we have is from Michael in Arizona. Michael says, is there going to be another Structuring Your Empire or Mastering the Phone workshop? I would love to go and see an in-person event to learn these things.
Well, Michael, there's none on the agenda, but we have both of those on tape. That's the best I can do for you. You can get both of those from my office at a deeply discounted price, like over half off right now. So call my office and check on that. 800-567-6128. Tell them you were on this call and I told them to give you a deal you cannot refuse. We have no live event scheduled right now. Both of those came out really well.
Awesome. All right.
The Structuring Your Empire course has got a certificate in the back where if you'll fill it out and tell me what's going on in your life, like, do you own other businesses? How much property do you own? How many children do you have? And so forth. I mean, I'm not going to ask for any real personal questions. Just give me an idea what's going on in your life, and I'll send you back my recommendations of what you should discuss with your attorney to build your estate plan and your asset protection plan, just based on what you spend, no charge whatsoever.
That's really cool. Hopefully Michael takes advantage of that one. All right, coming down to the last question here. We have it from Michelle in Washington. Michelle says, I am ready to attend the upcoming July virtual Quick Start event, and my focus is going to be on pretty homes. I am excited and ready to start. However, I recently heard from an EXP Realty State broker that I am not allowed to do these type of transactions as it would be in violation of the Washington state laws and rules. Do you know if this is correct?
I know that it's totally, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, incorrect, and it's absolute baloney spewed by somebody who has no idea what they're talking about. In fact, I don't know where you live in Washington, but one of the largest real estate association groups is in Seattle called REAPS, R-E-A-P-S. If you're anywhere near Seattle, you might want to join that. It happens to be full of investors who are buying houses all kinds on terms and cash in every other way, and one of the best well-run groups in the country. And all of you listeners should look for your local REIA groups and join them. That's where you get all the things that you need for your contacts, local help if you need it. It's not where you're going to get your training, but it's going to be where you get the contacts you need to. And you also need to get the support from other people actually doing deals around you. Hang around the right kind of people. But no, that's absolutely not true. There's no law in Washington about you that you cannot buy properties, whether you have a license or whether you don't. It's totally irrelevant. There's things you got to do if you have a license, like disclose that you have one at the point of a meaningful relationship. But the rest of everything you just told me is hogwash, absolute hogwash. Next time somebody tells you that something can't be done here, and this is to everybody watching, ask them, can you direct me to the statute that lays that out, please? And if they can't direct you to the statute, that means that they don't know it, and or they're just making it up, or they're passing it on from somebody else just as ignorant about the subject as they are. If there is no statute saying that something is illegal, it is not illegal. So look for the statute, and you can read those yourself. And then when you read that statute, look for the exemptions, because that might save you from reading the whole statute. Just, for example, the statute on real estate licensing comes to mind. This is pretty much in every state. If you read the statute, just about everything we do as real estate investors looks like we need a license to do, until you get the exemptions where they say 2 words, just 2 words. It says, if you do all of these things for others, you need a license, which eliminates the entire reading that you just spent 2 hours doing, because we're not doing anything for others. We're doing it for ourselves. So be careful to whom you listen and get proof. Don't believe anything anybody tells you about what's legal and what's not legal until you see it for yourself. Wow, that was a long answer to that one, wasn't it?
I know.
On a roll there, didn't it? Okay. But, I get it so much. Oh, I can't do that here. Somebody told me I can't do it. Somebody told me it was illegal. Well, I guarantee you, whoever told you that was broke. I promise you. Be very careful whom you listen. You cannot get rich by listening to broke people spewing nonsense.
That is
Now, with that, got any more?
no, that was it. That's all we have for today.
Good questions this week. Actually, I'm proud of you guys. Send in some more of these good questions because I'm answering them for you, but I'm answering them for everyone else as well. So if that's it, I'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. We put these out every single Friday. And by the way, you mentioned that going to a boot camp virtual in July. I want all of you to know that we have decided that we're going to do a live Quick Start Real Estate School the last week of August in Las Vegas, baby. In Las Vegas. So we're going to get out of Jacksonville and go to Vegas. So check on that. All of you folks that have been to the virtual events are eligible to come for free. And then you get to write off your expenses on your taxes because this is a cost that you write off. It's a business expense. If you're not coming for the first time, same thing. I mean, the government's going to pay a great big chunk of your tuition is what it amounts to. And you can rest your bippy that we're going to have some fun times in Las Vegas. We're going to be doing it at the M Resort, which is off the Strip, which is probably good. But hey, you can get from anywhere to anywhere in Vegas by Uber, by taxi. So we're going to have fun out in Vegas. So go check it out. It's a good chance to go to Vegas, good chance to get out of town. And you probably haven't been to Vegas for a long time, maybe some of you forever. I know we haven't been there for several years. So I tried to keep it a secret from my wife and I couldn't. She found out about it. So I'll definitely be bringing her. And she'll be staying at Harrah's and I'll be staying at M. Harrah's, they love her at Harrah's. They treat her like a queen. So anyway, enough said on that. Check that out and join us, please. I'll see you next week.